Chapter 7 looks at managing capacity and is in three major parts. First, it explains what capacity is and how you measure it. The second then is how much capacity, and then the third section is what factors can influence the matching of capacity and demand. Let's look at capacity. Let's take a hairdresser. If you try to work out how many customers a hairdresser could cope with during a day, and you did this on the number of customers, you would think on reflection that it depends what the customer required. So you can see that if all the customers wanted a cut, wash and dry, whereas and then on the other hand, the customers wanted a cut, styling, tinting and colouring, wash and dry, you'd see that I can do far more customers in the first than I can do in the second. So the way that we measure capacity is based on time. And so we calculate how much time it takes to do each service or each product, and that will give us then a way of calculating how much we can cope with during a given day. The next question then is how much? Well, as you can see, basically, if we have too much, that increases costs. And if we have too little, then customers have to wait. So it's an important balance between serving customers and meeting their lead times, their expectations of how quickly they're going to be served, against not incurring excessive costs within the business itself. And to do that, we use the third part of the chapter, which is which factors are open to us to try and influence demand and capacity to help us to manage this key basic task. Well, one factor is that we can use people. So if you think of an ATM machine, when you go to get cash out of an ATM machine, actually it's the customer that does most of the work. The machine just responds to the customer and its requirements. So what the bank has done is resolve the capacity problem with regard to serving by actually getting the customer to do it itself. And similarly, that's like having flat packs for furniture. It gets the customer to actually put the furniture together. The second is to try to recognize that some demand is more measurable than other demand. So in fact, what happens then is you try and separate these two different aspects of demand, and in that way restrict the forecasting to that part that is less predictable. And finally, we can influence demand by changing the offering. So many customers offered a better price if they go at a period where demand is less. So we use pricing to alter demand flows. These are some of the characteristics that we use in order to marry the demand and the capacity we need to meet that demand.